Hey guys, welcome into the podcast, ReThink. My name is Kelly. I'm your host. It's my pleasure as always to welcome you into another great podcast. I hope you guys are checking us out on YouTube. I've decided to put a lot more effort into our video process. So I think this is going to be very instrumental for us in terms of growth, because I've got some screens and different things I'm going to start sharing as I'm going through the podcast. But, you know, a lot of you guys may be listening as you normally have done over the years over simple podcasts, which is fine. You don't have to transition if you don't want. But I thought the YouTube element, the video element could add, you know, a little bit more to the quality of the podcast. So you get a chance to check us out, please do so on YouTube. And if you're new to the podcast, please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast so you don't forget where we are and who we are. It doesn't really matter where you subscribe to us at. If you do it on YouTube, that's fine. If you do it, you know, throughout the multitude of podcast platforms that we're listed on, be it Spotify or iHeartRadio or Pandora or Google or Apple, doesn't really matter. Just follow us. Just follow us and like and subscribe. Do all that good stuff. Share our content. We really would appreciate it. Today, we're back and we're talking about identity shifting. There's a lot in the community of metaphysics and consciousness and quantum fields about identity shifting. And I think I have created a workbook or worksheet for us that can really help explain what this is and what it looks like. I hear and I listen and I read quite a bit for a number of reasons. One, my own personal benefit. For two, to be as informative as I can be when I'm talking to you guys on the podcast. And so let's get into identity shifting, what it is, and some simple, practical, daily applications we can use to employ these type of techniques in our personal lives, and why it's important. You know, why it's important. So, number one, we want to be able to embrace the power that we have within, because so many of us feel stuck at certain times in our lives. We feel stuck. We feel the reoccurrence of some same issues. I don't want to call them problems, but we see the reoccurrence of certain issues and certain circumstances in our lives, and we are not okay with that. And so we're trying to discern, we're trying to understand why those reoccur, but also we want to be able to get to the areas in our lives, in our timeline, that are, you know, more appealing to us, if that makes sense. So imagine waking up every day feeling empowered. You're feeling empowered to be aligned with your deepest desires, right? That's what I'm trying to say in so many words. We want to accomplish the things we want to accomplish, and we want to feel our deepest desires. Now, obviously, the contrast, the things that we don't want, promote the things that we do. You cannot have the yin without the yang. You cannot have the light without the darkness. So we appreciate it all. But this episode, what we want to talk about is how to move into a space on your timeline where you are the best version of yourself. And you don't have to wait. This is something that is fully within your grasp. There is an practical, applicable practice that you can do daily and weekly that can give you better results if you're not comfortable with where you are right now. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I do have a workbook, and we're going to jump over in just a few minutes and take a look. But let me run through just a few things here about what's in the workbook and why the workbook is necessary. And before I get too far into this, I'm not trying to sell you the workbook. The workbook is free to download. I just thought that, you know, we talk a lot about applications here on the podcast, and to give you something in your hand is going to be a lot more helpful than for me to just talk about it in theory, or at least that's the way that I feel when I am listening to, you know, other podcasters, or I'm listening to YouTubers or different gurus, or I'm reading. I would like to have something in my hand, something I can refer to, something I can write down, something I can hold on to be able to answer questions that I may still have, or to just go back and refresh myself on the concept and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So why this workbook matters is, one, it's going to help you to clarify your vision, because as you can see, let's go ahead and jump over to our workbook. As you can see, everybody's not looking on YouTube, but let me just describe to you what we're looking at. This is page 3, I think, page 2, and it is talking about identity shifting, and it's 4 sections. Okay, so just imagine as we go through this process, if you decide not to use my workbook, which is again free, you can just create a spreadsheet of your own with 4 different columns. And in the first column, we're going to put our goals, our desires. That's the most important. Now, before we go too far, the goals and desires, once you achieve them, maybe you can get on to the next one. So you can download this workbook or create more worksheets as much as you like. Once you achieve a goal, you can check that part off, and then you can start on a new goal. But the first column, the first block we have here is our goals and our desires. So it says make a list of the goals, the things that you want to accomplish, and also, and most importantly, the person that you want to realize. I am not saying to be, I'm saying to realize. And the reason I use that terminology is because you are already that person. You just haven't realized it. The things that you want to accomplish, the person you want to be, the money or the relationship, the health, all of that stuff is within you right now. And there's only the now. There's no future. There's no past that is tangible, anything that you can do about it anyway. So there's only the now, and there's only you. So everything that you have, everything that you desire, everything that you want, it will come out of you, meaning you have it now, okay? And you just have to figure out a way to realize. So let's start with number 1, goals and desires. What are the things that you want? Is it a special person? Is it health? Is it financial independence? Is it peace of mind? What are the things that you actually want? So in column 1, you'll see here, let's go in and let's write the thing that we want, because that's going to be the most important thing, because all these other things are going to be tied to that desire. Number 2 is the feelings. Because we're always fighting, we don't always want to, but we're always fighting limiting beliefs that are keeping us in that state of mind, keeping us from realizing who we are, from the health, from the special person, from the financial abundance, whatever it is. We have some limiting beliefs that are keeping us in those states. So how do you feel? How would you feel if you already had the things that you desired? Okay, how would you feel? Well, that's what goes into column number 2. How would you feel? Would you feel secure? Would you feel confident? Would you feel complete? You know, would you think highly of yourself? Most of the times we feel like the things that we desire are going to add to us. So write in column 2, how would you feel if you already had the things that you really wanted to have? For example, if it was an amount of money that you needed, if you were going to plan a trip for your family, let's say, and you know you're just doing what you do normally, but you don't have an excess of resources, but you still want to take your family on a trip. There's a certain level of stress in trying to plan and divvy out to make sure everything's taken care of at home and you can still enjoy yourself away. Okay, I get it, been there, done that. But how would you feel if you were $10 million richer? Your business is really taking off. You're $10 million richer. You were in a different position in your company, and your salary was 2 or 3 times what it is now. What sort of emotion does that give to you, and what sort of confidence does that put into the equation? I would say that you're a lot more comfortable going wherever you're going, because there's no big deal. It's not a big deal. I can handle it. I've got the resources. So let's look at it from that standpoint. How would you feel if whatever it is that you wrote in column 1 was already a reality? Let's put that in column 2. And then number 3, I jumped the gun a little bit. I started talking about limiting beliefs, but that's what needs to go here in number 3. What are you currently thinking? What are the beliefs that you currently have that contribute to the state that you're in right now? If it is a financial thing, Maybe you grew up in a household where money was hard, to come by. Maybe you've heard that a lot in your life. Maybe you saw your parents or your grandparents or your guardians, whoever were your caregivers, to really struggle financially. And maybe that's been a part of your experience up until now. But I want to say one thing about that, and I want you to hear it clearly. Your current circumstances do not matter. Your current circumstances do not matter. And a change can come today. The change will come within your state of being, but it must come from your state of believing, your state of mind. So it doesn't really matter what happened up until the point that it doesn't happen. The limiting belief can be dissolved today, but you must acknowledge and realize that you do have a limiting belief. Identify what it is, because in the next step, we're going to take action. The action is going to be in stage 4. What actions would you do if you already were this person? What actions would you do if you were already this person? Let me give you an example. If you were a person of unlimited wealth, let's say you were a $10 million Kelly, and Kelly is just, he's got a lot of resources, got a lot of money. What is one of the things that I would do? Well, I probably would tip very well. Whenever I went out to restaurants, things like that, I probably would tip very well. As a matter of fact, I'm sure I would, because I tip well now. So that's one of the things that you can write into your action block. What is something that you would do to signify and to say to yourself, this is already a done deal? What if it's your special person? Let's talk about Neville Goddard, for example. Neville had this example where he was talking about a woman who wanted to be in a relationship, wanted to be married. And he said, why not wear a ring? That ring would signify that you are in this relationship, that you are married. Now, he didn't mean an actual physical ring, but in your mind, see yourself with a ring on. Now, I really don't have a problem with you getting a physical ring. This is between you and you. So that ring would signify to you that you are a person in a relationship, to be married. The money situation, the tipping, whatever it is that you have decided in item here, number 1, your goal, what in item 4 would signify you've accomplished for item 1, okay? If it's money, maybe you tip a lot. Maybe you go to the gas station and you just fill up your car every time. Maybe you go out to dinner and you don't even ask what the price is. Do a thing that your person would do, the person that you want to realize would do. If it is unlimited abundance, then that person probably is not concerned about what anything costs on a menu. They go out, they order, they give the menu back, and they go on about their way. All right, so that is what the identity shifting worksheet looks like, and those are the activities. Now, here's the thing. Being in alignment with the thing that you desire is really what this exercise is all about. Let me say that again. Being in alignment with the thing that you desire is what this exercise is about. The second most important thing that this exercise is about is overcoming limiting beliefs. If you can overcome your limiting beliefs, you can resonate more quickly with the person that you desire to be or to realize. What's keeping you from realizing the person that you want to be? Your limiting beliefs. The more you do this exercise and the more that you practice every day, the less your limiting beliefs are in your way. Okay? I hope that is clear to you. The alignment, the frequency, the vibration, the residency of your thing is right there. It's right there. And you just have to be able to realize it. So you've got to do away with the limiting beliefs. Now, I want to give credit to David Bear, and I'll put a link to one of his podcasts in our show notes as well. This is where I got the idea. I listened to this guy quite a bit, and he's pretty, smart when it comes to just like layman's terms about how to understand some of these higher, level quantum metaphysical types of conversations. And if you are in this community, and if this is within your, realm of belief, then it's something that you may believe and you're interested in, but you don't, you're interested in, but you don't quite believe it because you don't quite understand it. So you have to understand it in order to believe it. Okay. You have to know that it's possible. Is it possible, Kelly, for me to quantum leap or to identity shift into another person? Of course it is. You watch movies all the time, and even TV. You are convinced by the actors that are on the screen that they are who they say they are in those pictures. That is not who they are. Who they are. That's who they are in that film and in that particular TV show. The fact that they're able to identify with that particular personality or that identity for the time being makes them a successful actor. No different than you. The universe is going to respond to you based on who you believe yourself to be. If you believe yourself to be wealthy and desirable and healthy and these sorts of things, the universe will resonate with that level of vibration. I just believe that's true. Okay. Let's go a little deeper into the workbook. So that was that page. Now here it comes with the daily practice. Well, wait a minute, I'm jumping the gun again. After you finish 1 through 4 for your identity shifting, here's a very important thing that I want you to do. I want you to, down here at the bottom or anywhere on the sheet, just write in a nickname for the person that that you want to be. So let's say, for example, my deal could be financial, and I want to be $10 million Kelly. Okay, that's my nickname. Okay, so what happens? What happens is whenever I'm here in stage 3 and I find myself again in front of those limiting beliefs, I ask myself, what would $10 million Kelly do about this situation? Okay, let's say I get an unexpected bill, or I need to, somebody comes to me and asks to borrow a large amount of money, whatever it is. Someone makes a demand on my resources. If I've got limiting beliefs, maybe the belief is, listen, I can't allow you to borrow any money because I'm not going to have enough for myself. That's me now, maybe. But $10 million Kelly would say, oh, not a problem. Not a problem. How much do you need? Is it that simple, Kelly? Well, let's think about it logically. Even though some of this is going to be outside of your logic, it just has to be believed. What are you doing right now? If right now you're continuing saying year after year, you want a special person in your life, okay? You want to have that relationship, that long-term relationship, but for some reason, you just can't seem to hone in and lock in on that one person, okay? It just seems to be missing you. You've got a limiting belief that says either you're not deserving of that long-term relationship, that person, that marriage, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have a limiting belief that is substantiating it, whether it is conscious, and most times it's subconscious. So it's important that we identify, we write these things down, and we get them in front of us so that when they come up in our psyche again, we can say, okay, hold on. That is not something that I want to think. I don't want to think that I'm not capable of maintaining a relationship. And then you do the reverse. I am capable of maintaining a long-term relationship. I am a desirable person. I am very good in relationships. I'm very kind. I'm very compromising. You need to realize the person that you want to be. And the more you play that role, the more the universe is going to reverberate, and the more the universe is going to resonate with that role. Now, believe it or not, the person you are now is a role. You just been in it so long, it just seems like it's you. It's a role. You were, and we all were trained to be who we are. And some of us don't like who we are. And we feel like we have to be this way because that's kind of who we are. No, you can change anytime you want to. You can change anytime you want to. All right, so make yourself a nickname and write it here at the bottom of the sheet. Let's go on to the next piece, the daily practice. Here you'll see we've got daily practice, and we have goals and desires, the feelings, the limiting beliefs, and the action. Now, this is just your workbook, okay? So each day you can get up and you can write your desires here, your feelings, your limiting beliefs, and the actions that you're taking to substantiate the person who you now are. It's important to write your limiting beliefs because you can identify them much easier when they're on paper, they're right in front of you, okay? You go through your list and you say, listen, what am I doing right now that's keeping me in this particular space? What's keeping me working from paycheck to paycheck? Is it that I believe I don't have the skill set, to be a business owner? Is it that I believe money is scarce? Because we live in a very abundant universe. So what is it that you believe? And write it down. And each day, as you do your meditation and your morning routines and exercises, you're going to look over this. You don't have to write down new desires every day. You can write down this desire in this column, because there are 3 columns on here, until that desire comes to fruition. You just want to document everything across the board, and you want to have it in front of you so that you can see it. It's important that you can see it. I feel when you write things down, it becomes a verbal and written contract with yourself. Okay, it is a way for you to cement it and put it out to the universe that, like, here's what I want. I want that special person. I want to be in a long-term relationship. As a matter of fact, write it in the present tense. I am in a long-term relationship. Okay, and it makes me feel this way. My limiting beliefs around it are this, and the actions that I'm taking every day are these. All right. So once you are successful with your practice every day, you will have some victories. And when you get the victories, and guys that are just listening via podcast, what I'm showing right now on the screen is a chart that says wins and milestones. This is very key. You want to record each time you have a breakthrough, you have a success. So once that special person comes into your life, you want to come in and write, hey, I had a limiting belief. I misspelled the word belief. We have a limiting belief that I could not be, in a long-term relationship, but I did reach my goal. What goal was that? I am now in a long-term relationship, or I found my special person. And this type of chart, now there's three different rows here. So my goal is, or my hope is, that you'll need to make copies of this, and you'll just keep meeting goal after goal after goal where you need more of these. But at a minimum, you're able to go back at the end of the year, the end of the quarter, or the end of the month, it doesn't matter, and take a look and see what you've accomplished. Why? That is going to feed into your personal confidence and into your ability to be able to achieve more goals. Because here's the thing. I always say this, it only has to work for you one time. It really does. It only has to work once. Once you figure out that this actually works and that you're in control of your life and that what you put in action actually worked, no one else is going to be able to convince you of anything else. You're going to know without a shadow of a doubt that you're capable of being the actual creator, who you are, and putting these applications in place, and they truly do affect your life in a positive way, okay? And the cool thing about that is, and then you can go and you can share it with others. You can go and you can share these techniques with others, be it your kids, your friends, your family, your loved ones, whatever. Once you figure out that I can shift my identity, I can realize the person that I really want to be. I want to be a wife. Then you must begin to see yourself as a wife. I want to be a philanthropist. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a professor. Whatever it is that you want to be, write it down in your goals and desires in the present tense. It is a done deal. And then each day, you just read it. The most important thing is each time you get an opportunity, you act in a manner that that person would act in. Not your current self, but your future self. That self that you desire. If that self that you desire that you are currently now doesn't believe in tipping, but you want to be an abundant person, an entrepreneur, a successful business owner, that person tips. That person pays bonuses. that person is very secure in their financial outlook on life, okay? The last thing I'll say, and I really hope this has been helpful for you guys, it's short and sweet, but the last thing I'll say, and the most important thing is this: when you're in your quiet space, in your mental time, and there's no workbooks and worksheets and podcasts going or meditation, anything like that, but it's just your thoughts. Think from that space. Think from that person's identity. Become that person. If Morgan Freeman is acting as if he's the president for a film, he becomes the president. Jim Carrey is a person that I have heard and read about for a number of years, being really embedded in the parts that he takes, to the point that when you're on set, he refuses to come out even when they're on a break. He's that character until that film is done. And you begin to believe that is who he is because he does it all the time. What I'm suggesting to you is, from our birth up until now, we have been who we are. We've been programmed. We have programmed ourselves, the community, environment around us, systems, religion and parents, and all of these things have shaped and molded us and programmed us into who we are. Very few of us have taken the time to program ourselves the way that we want to be. Here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity. And here's a method to do it. See yourself every day as that person. Create a nickname for that person. Call yourself that person. What would that person do in the situations that face you on a regular basis? What would that person do? And do that. And eventually, you will be that person. Okay? All right, guys, thanks. Make sure you share our podcast with your family, friends, and all that good stuff. But also, again, the workbook is free, and I did all this work for you, so I would love for you to download it. It is absolutely free. I'm not getting anything from this, although I wouldn't mind if you guys shot me a sponsorship for the, you can always sponsor the podcast and do your monthly this, that, and the others. It would really help out the podcast. But go in. Oh, you know what? There's an extra page there too, where it talks about the characteristics of your best self. That's all good information. Name the best version of yourself. That's where you can put in your nickname. I forgot about that page, but it is on page 1. Your new identity is on page 1. But go into our show notes. It's one link. This is what it's going to look like. I apologize, you guys who are driving and not looking at this. But when you jump over to our website, it's going to just say download now or add to cart. If you hit add to cart, you see it comes up here. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. And then you hit checkout, and all you have to do is put your contact information in, and we'll make sure immediately you get the digital download. Now, you can download this as many times as you like. I don't know why this is taking so long, but you can download this as many times as you like. And what will happen is, once you reach all of your goals, then, you can have a brand new, and clean workbook to work from. So if you have any problems, just let me know. Shoot me a note in the comments. But I'm pretty sure it'll work. Oh, you can hit by now. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.